Hey everybody, it's Jen. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do an update of a video I first did almost 4 years ago about what to wear on an airplane. And I think of all of the things I make videos about on my channel, this may be the thing that I'm most passionate about, and I'm really glad that you're here. So if you're new, I'm Jen and I travel a lot for a variety of reasons. I travel all over the world, long haul flights, short haul flights. Many times I'm in economy. Every once in a while I'm in first class, but predominantly I'm sitting in the back. And to me, what I wear on the airplane is extremely important, both in terms of comfort, but also in my own personal confidence. I really like to feel put together and it helps me with my travel anxiety if I feel like I look good in what I'm wearing. So really thinking about the pieces that I take is something that I have done for well over a decade, and some of the things have changed. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to go through with you what I'm currently wearing, kind of the concepts behind why I choose what I do, and some holes in my current travel wardrobe that I'm thinking of filling in. It's not rocket science by any means, and I will say I definitely overthink this, but part of it is, as some of you know, I am really working on making my wardrobe as sustainable as possible and as minimal as possible. It's really my goal to have a few really good pieces that will last me for decades. So I'm investing, when I do buy a new piece, I'm investing a little bit more money, no fast fashion, and let's just dive in. Okay, so before I show you the actual clothes, I want to talk about the different elements of an effective travel wardrobe. And this really is my travel uniform. You can call it a capsule wardrobe, you can call it whatever you want, but if I'm traveling, I am wearing what is back here on this rack. I don't even really have to think about it. It does depend a little bit upon the weather, but the reality is no matter what the weather is where you're going, airplanes are pretty much always freezing cold, at least in my experience, and that's a lot of flights under my belt. So you want to divide your clothing out into 3 basic categories. Your base layer, so a top and pants that feel super comfortable to you, that will wash well, that will not hold smells, that will regulate your temperature, because the plane will normally be freezing, but sometimes it will be boiling. It will rarely, if ever, be just right. And yes, I have asked my airline pilot husband about why, and no one can give me a good answer, so whatever. The second thing you're going to want is a second layer. For me, this is usually a cashmere sweater. Sometimes it's a button front shirt, something that you can put on and take off, right? If you get too warm, you can shed that other layer. And then third is going to be some type of jacket or outerwear. Now that part is definitely weather dependent for where you're going. And then the fourth kind of bonus category is going to be your accessories. So you're talking your shoes, your socks, and in my case, a scarf, which is definitely necessary. I'm not going to talk a lot about bags in this video. I feel like that could be a totally separate video all on its own. I will show you what I'm currently using, but we're not going to get into a big discussion about that. So let's start with base layer. Okay, so this is my current base layer top, this Unbound Merino cream long sleeve t-shirt. I've also got a navy blue short sleeve from Unbound Merino. I love merino wool specifically for a base layer because it does not smell. You can put it in your suitcase, it does not get wrinkled, and the most important part is it regulates your temperature. So it will help if it's freezing cold, it will help warm you up, and yes, if it's super warm, it will help cool you down. Nobody really understands why wool does that. I mean, obviously the sheep know, but it is to keep sheep's temperature regulated when they are out in the various elements, and it will do the same thing for you. I have bought many pieces from the Unbound Merino brand. Both of these have been washed many times. I love them, and I think you cannot go wrong with a really good quality wool t-shirt for your top of your base layer. Okay, now for the bottom of your base layer, this is one area that I have kind of changed my tune over the years. I used to really like, and I still wear, these wide leg pants. These particular ones are from Spanx. They're from the Air Essentials collection. These have worn very well, But I will say I don't love that they don't have pockets. So I take away points for that. Also, this material, which is made out of recycled water bottles, which you will see a lot of things made in this material lately, it stains very easily, and the stains do not come out in my experience. So I'm kind of getting away from those. The other reason I'm kind of getting away from the wide leg pants is actually one of you mentioned it, and now it's stuck in my head and it's like I can't unsee it. And that's the whole thing, that a wide leg pant, when you go into the bathroom, it's really hard to keep your pants from pooling on the floor. And airplane bathrooms are really disgusting, and the thought of that is just like in my head now. So I am moving more towards either a cropped wide leg or joggers, with minor points toward joggers. Now I'm going to show you these, and then these are as old as Methuselah. They are very, very old, but they do have pockets. I don't even think this brand is around anymore, but they have, instead of like a traditional jogger bottom, they actually have a little zipper, which is fantastic for your compression socks, which we're going to talk about compression socks in a little while, but I'm really moving towards a jogger instead of a wide leg pant. It does not look as polished or put together, but I think if you go in a color like black, it's still completely fine, and it still reads as intentional and not like you're wearing athleisure wear, especially if you're going to Europe. They really frown upon that. Another option, like I said, would be like a cropped black pant like these that are from J. Jill, which interestingly, I purchased these when I did that original video 4 years ago. So that's how much these have been worn. And I really do love those pants. So a basic black pant, you want to be sure that it's not tight around the waist, because what happens, especially on a long haul flight, you will get some bloating. And if your pants are tight around the waist, it will be very uncomfortable. And if your goal is to try to sleep, you really don't want to have your pants pinching you around the middle. That's not fun. So an elastic waistband is really important. I know a lot of people wear like leggings. I don't like that because of the compression socks, because it's not a good look to, like, you can't really put them under the leggings. It's not a good look to go over the leggings. So for me, the win-win would be a jogger in black, so it looks a little bit more elevated. Definitely want pockets, and preferably to have them be big enough at the bottom that I can wear my compression socks, and they have to be really comfortable. Unbound Merino carries a jogger that I really have my eye on. I almost pulled the trigger on it this morning, but I think my next big purchase for my travel capsule wardrobe is probably going to be a pair of those, definitely in the color black. Okay, the next thing we're going to talk about is your next layer, which for me usually is going to be a cashmere sweater. Here's why cashmere is my favorite choice for this, and fabrics matter so much, you guys. Number one, it has the same components of wool, in that obviously cashmere is a type of wool. It will not hold odors and things like that. Also, it's very good for temperature regulation. Also, the look, and it just does not wrinkle. This one is from Patagonia. You can find really good priced cashmere. I would try Quince. A lot of people are ordering pieces from them of late and having great luck. I love Lily Silk for their silk and cashmere blends. And this is going to be an investment piece. This is going to be something that you're going to wear in every area of your life. Bonus points go to cashmere because it also looks really good once you're at your destination. So absolutely can also be part of your travel wardrobe, not just what you're wearing on the airplane. I really like the gray. It's really neutral. Yeah, cashmere is always my go-to. The other thing is, generally speaking, a cashmere sweater will fold up really small. So if you get warm, you can easily tuck it in your bag that's underneath your seat. It's not bulky. It doesn't take up a lot of room in your luggage, and it will last you a very long time if you take good care of it. This one's starting to pill just a little bit, so I need to go after it with my little sweater shaver. But I wash my cashmere sweaters in the washing machine on Delicate in a garment bag with Woolite makes a cashmere wash. There's a couple on the market, and then just reshape them and lay them flat to dry. Okay, this next category is the one that is the most weather dependent. If you're going to a really, really cold place, this is going to be the layer that's going to be like your big puffer coat or your jacket. Although I still think you should go with a travel coat so that you can fold it up really small and fit it in the overhead. But there are a few things to me that are super essential in a good outer layer. This is probably the one that I wear the most often, but the reason that I think you have to be very careful when choosing a denim jacket is you want to make sure that there are good pockets. So I'm going to show you all the pockets in this one. This particular jacket is sadly no longer available. It has a ton of stretch to it, which can be really hard to find in a denim jacket. But let's talk about pockets. Talked about this with you guys a lot, and it's one of those things that I used to never check for, but an interior pocket on a jacket that you're using for travel is essential. And you see the size of that pocket? That can easily fit your passport, it can easily fit your phone, and it can easily fit your boarding pass. So this is a very big deal to me. And this one has a pocket there, and then it also has a pocket on the outside. And a pocket on the outside is also great, but the one on the inside gives me just a little bit more security. Great for when you're at your destination. It's safe from pickpockets, all of those things. And this one, of course, has it on both sides. This other jacket I've been wearing a lot more lately. It is from Liverpool, Los Angeles. I absolutely love this color. And I know, especially when we're talking about a lot of neutrals, a lot of you are like, that is so boring. I think this jacket is just perfect. And again, we've got these really big interior pockets. So promise me you are not going to buy a jacket that is predominantly for travel without checking and making sure you have these interior pockets. They just make such a huge difference. Now, the last piece we're going to talk about is really if you're going to Europe, if you're going to be needing something that's a little bit more elevated. Of course, my Burberry coat, but to me, any classic trench coat, you do not have to pay this price point, although cost per wear, this coat has already done me so lovely. I adore this coat. This is in the longer length. I will definitely put this down in the description box. This is the Waterloo Heritage Trench. I bought this at the airport in Rome. I actually did a whole video about it. Surprisingly, and hold on, I'm going to turn you around. Really surprisingly, I have traveled with this and folded it somewhat and just kind of thrown it in the overhead, and it always comes out looking really, really good. It's the material that it's made from, holds up really well, and quite frankly, I think a piece like this, almost part of its character and charm is when it's a little wrinkled, because it's obvious that you wear it, that you didn't like just buy it and throw it on. And I wish you guys, you can kind of hear it. I wish you could feel the quality on this. Now, before I bought this, I owned many different versions of trench coats. You can find good ones again on Quince. You can find good ones at Ann Taylor. J. Crew makes a beautiful one. It's a classic silhouette that almost every manufacturer makes. And the reason they do is because it's been around forever. It's not going to go out of style. And it's just so really, really practical. This has served me so well, and I absolutely love it. Okay, so you've got your base layer. You've got your second layer that's going to be a sweater of some sort. Could be a sweatshirt, but sweatshirts are really bulky, so I prefer a sweater. You've got your jacket or coat as that outer layer. We're still missing a few pieces. To me, no airplane outfit is complete without a scarf of some kind, and this is to do with style and practicality. The style part, because I think it just elevates the whole thing, especially if you're wearing joggers and a t-shirt. A really nice scarf just pulls the whole thing up for me, but also for warmth. There is definitely something about having something wrapped around your neck. There are a few different options you can go with. Yes, I still use my Blue Salt. This is the 3-yard wrap. The reason this is so great is because it's massively big. It can double as a blanket, or you can wrap it around your neck. You can let it lay down flat. The reason I don't use this one quite as much anymore, quite frankly, is because when I get overheated, it's just like too much fabric around me. But especially if I'm going to a very cold weather place or for a long haul flight, this is going with me. It's very beautiful, very soft. Love this and would buy it again. I don't find myself pulling for it as much as I used to, but it is still a really good idea. Another choice would be to go with something like silk. Now, silk is another fabric that will help keep you warm or cool. It will help with the temperature. You can get, this one is from Coach. I will link this particular one below. Make sure if you order scarves online, especially like from Amazon, that it is 100% silk. Polyester, and I have found, I don't order from Amazon anymore, but in the past I would order scarves from Amazon that said that they were mulberry silk, and when I got them, they 100% were not mulberry silk. So you want to make sure you're ordering from a reputable brand. It doesn't have to be Coach, it doesn't have to be a fancy brand, but a really good 100% silk scarf. You can tie this a million different ways. You can just tie it around your neck. You can put it on your bag. It's beautiful when you get to your destination. And I'm always a huge fan of traveling with at least one really beautiful silk scarf. And then another great fabric option for your scarf is linen. Now this one you guys have probably seen. I have been wearing this scarf pretty much nonstop since I bought it, but I bought it in a small town in France, which sounds so pretentious to say, but I did. And I can't find it anywhere for you to get, but I love the colors in this. So your scarf, and again, linen is another one of those materials that will help regulate temperature. And it's just a really, it's a great way in the midst of all of this to express yourself, to bring in some color. Obviously, these are big investment pieces, so everything's super, super neutral, but your scarf gives you an opportunity to really play. This one I love because it's so long and you can tie it so many different ways. Generally, I'm doing something like this. I am not a scarf tying expert. There's so many great videos online I would go check out about scarf tying, but definitely you want a scarf. If you walk through the airport, pretty much any of the travelers that travel all the time that are women, and men too, they're wearing scarves. And it's because it gives you that warmth around your neck. It's a good fashion statement. It's multi-purpose. Cannot go wrong. Get yourself a beautiful scarf. Okay, another accessory that we need to talk about is more utilitarian, and that is going to be your socks. Now with socks, these ones are actually compression socks. These ones are just wool socks, but I think they're very, very important for a couple reasons. The compression socks are super important because of the fact that you can get something called deep vein thrombosis on a long haul flight. These are key. If you watch the show Succession, love that show. There was a whole storyline around these kinds of socks, compression socks. But these were from Target. Don't pay a fortune for your compression socks. Lots of different brands have them. You can pay a fortune. I don't think you should. But these are good for long haul. For any flight though, and also for long haul, I like just a good pair of wool socks. And here's why. My legs on flights tend to get freezing cold. So even if my upper torso and I have my scarf and I have all my stuff is fine, my legs will get like cold inside. I can't really explain it. Once I started wearing either the compression socks or some really good wool socks, that problem has been completely alleviated. It gets so bad for me that on really long haul flights, which in the middle of the night on a long haul flight, if your legs are freezing, you're not going to sleep, especially not if you're in economy. I will wear like a really lightweight legging underneath my joggers. So I even add another layer because I just can't come back from those legs being cold. And it's a major issue. So compression socks or wool socks, these are important. And then the last accessory we're going to talk about, and I'm going to grab them because they're over here. Hold on. Shoes. Now I have talked about these shoes and talked about these shoes and talked about these shoes. This brand is called Cariúma. They are from Brazil. Every time you buy a pair of shoes from them, they plant a tree. They are an ethical company. It's a small brand, and I adore these shoes. I own them in canvas and in leather, but for travel, I find myself pulling for the leather most often. And these obviously have been worn many, many, many times. Not this pair, but my last pair got me all the way through Japan. These work not only because they're cute, they have a really nice style to them. Even in Europe now, when I first did that video, I don't know if it was that one or another one I did during that same time, I talked about how in Europe people don't wear trainers. And that has really changed because you'll see trainers all the time. They still don't wear athleisure wear out in public, and they certainly don't wear like exercise wear out in public, but you will see even the nicest dressed ladies in skirts and trainers because they're just more comfortable. And you might have different words: tennis shoes, trainers, joggers. Well, joggers are usually pants now, but you know what we're talking about. Shoes that are good for walking, basically, and also just look cute. Love these. The price point is good. I wear an 8.5 or a 9, and in Cariumas I wear an 8.5. So if you're one of those people that's in between sizes, I would go with the lower of your two sizes. Isn't everybody in between two sizes when it comes to shoes? I feel like that's true for all of us. So anyway, what I will do now is these are the only shoes I will take. I don't take my running shoes anymore unless I'm planning on running on vacation, because for exercise walks, for walking in big cities, for all of the things, these shoes are amazing. Okay, so then really quick, let's go over the bag situation. Again, we're not going to talk a lot about that, but I am going to touch on that really fast. Okay, most of you know this Tumi bag I've been using religiously as my personal item bag. I also really love and still use a lot the Everywhere bag. It got something on it, and when I pulled it out for this video, I saw it, and I'll just take a cloth to that and it will go away. That was from my last trip. I don't know what that is. But the other bag that I always take is a bag that can go inside my bag. That's a crossbody. So this is for when I get to my destination. This will be the bag that I'll use predominantly. I want it to fit my basic essentials that I'm going to want during my flight. Lotion for my hands, my lip balm, all of those types of things. I have 3 options here, all of which I adore. This one is from Tory Burch. This one, of course, is from Gucci. This was a present, half from me and half from my husband for Christmas. I love this very much. And this one actually has a leather strap. It's a little bit longer, so that gives you some versatility. And because the strap comes off, you could also use this as a clutch. And then this one here is from Coach, and so many of you have purchased this. I just met a flight attendant the other day, and he watches my channel, and he bought this bag. It is such a hard hitter and is absolutely perfect. And this, again, could just go inside your bigger bag. So it's a bag within a bag, and it's, you know, it just, you don't, when you get up to go to the bathroom, you don't want to take your big old bag. You want to make sure you have what you need. And yeah, I think a good kind of mini to small size crossbody is definitely an essential part of my travel wardrobe. So yeah, not a lot has changed in terms of my what I wear on an airplane philosophy. I think you want to make sure you avoid anything tight. I think you want to make sure you avoid anything that is going to either overheat you or keep you too cold. The layers are definitely the way to go. Natural fibers, whenever possible, are definitely the way to go. And I think that you can travel in a way where you're super, super comfortable, but you don't look like a schlup, right? You look intentional and put together, and you look like when you get off the airplane, you will just feel like you got up in the morning and you made a decision about what you wore. You didn't just roll out of bed and get on an airplane. And you know, if you want to wear pajamas on your long haul flight, who am I? That's not for me. I like to put a lot of thought and intention into this. I like to pick pieces that are of high quality that I know are going to last me for the long haul. And to me, that's what enables me to have a succinct travel capsule wardrobe that I feel really confident in, that I feel like I can take on the world. And yeah, who doesn't need that right now? Who doesn't feel like leaving the country sometimes? I know I do. Thanks so much for being here. If you haven't subscribed already, I do videos on Tuesdays and Saturdays. Tuesdays are always these kind of more informative videos. Saturdays are weekly vlogs where we get a little zany, if you will. Zany is one of my words for 2025. So I hope you'll consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're finding joy. Bye.